Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the most underrated and overrated brawlers within the meta so far. So with so much changing in the meta, so many balance changes, I thought I'd do another one of these. Normally do it every single season, but it's time to do it again. A lot of you guys have been asking for it, so it made me think as well, because I streamed over on Twitch looking at all the monthly qualifiers in EMEA, and it just made me think like there's a few brawlers in there that I definitely slept on. So before we jump into it, then make sure you're using the creator code, that'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright guys, so jumping into the first underrated brawler in the meta, probably the most underrated brawler right now, it is Mr. P. So Mr. P, I hate to say it, but he's actually got a big increase in his viability. The main reason being is because of that HP buff. Even though it wasn't last update, I don't know, just a lot of changes has allowed him just to become a lot more prevalent in the meta. So just seen him a lot more in bounty, a lot more in knockout, and I've seen him in other scenarios as well. You know, on parallel plays, for example, I've seen quite a few people get some really good value out of Mr. P. It's just like the walls, and the unbreakable walls actually have helped him out quite a fair bit. And even if you're scared against aggro, like his HP really does help you out. So if you fully charge up your shield gear as well, you nearly have 6,000 health with Mr. P, which is just absolutely insane. And I love this brawler as well in this meta because it can really help you out if you're in a spawn trap. There's a lot of scenarios where Mr. P can actually be pretty sneakily underrated. Like I've seen him using backyard bowling competitive this weekend, which I was casting over. I've seen him use in shoot and start, for example. He's pretty usable in layer cake. He's been, you know, like a low-key option when it comes down to gem grab. He's more of a counter brawler, though. You can't just, you know, first pick a Mr. P in this meta. You've got to pick him towards the end to counter more of those squishier brawlers. But we can see they haven't even got a percentage. I mean, I've not really had to do anything. I'm just explaining why Mr. P is good. I'm just vibing. The porters are just doing its bit, and we're just doing 100% to 0%, just like that. But for me, I think he's really underrated. Good in knockout and bounty. He's actually had some good viability in hot zone, and you know, he's pretty decent in Brawl and gem grab. So Mr. P, I think, is fantastic in this meta now. Let's hop into the next one. Alright guys, so jumping into the next really underrated brawler in the game right now, we have Maisie. So I think I put Maisie in my last underrated brawler video, but I think the main reason why I'm saying Maisie's underrated in this meta, well, you probably, once the balance changes come out, with Hank, well, you guessed it, it's literally to do with Hank. So with Maisie, I found in pinhole punt and also on sneaker fields, I thought that she was, well, not even low-key, I thought she was definitely one of the best counters to Hank. The main reason being is because of her super, of course. Her super allows you to cancel Hank's attack, and it's also got such a large radius, it can really stun him. It slows him as well, and it's just such a good feature to have. So I'm about to get my super right now. You should be able to see it come up in a second. And now with my super, I should just be able to pop it onto the Hank. And okay, that was a terrible use of my gadget right there. But hopefully we can save this ball in time. And you can see with my super, get a double kill and push them back. I think the main thing is that you can cycle your super so quickly as well. It's just such a good defensive mechanism that you can easily stop a Hank with. So we've got the slow off right there. Should be able to charge our super back in a couple of hits. All you have to do is hit a brawler once, 2 more shots, and then you cycle it again. So I think it's only Maisie's only really viable in this meta. So literally on ladder, when you're facing all of these Hank players all of the time, I think she's a good solid option. And then, as I said, you know, Hank's obviously going to get a nerf. So when he does get a nerf, I think her viability will again decrease. So I'm missing quite a lot of my shots right now. You know, it's quite hard to hit a Hank when he's just so fast and vibing with that star power. We're going to look to try and push him right now and try and get that slow. Should be able to get him down, even though that shield is just so annoying of his. Let's see if we can survive in time. Unfortunately, damage gears popped, and he can just shoot us like that. But yeah, as I mentioned, really easy. And as well, you've got this stun with a gadget as well. You can combine that to get a little bit of extra range. And yeah, the only problem is right now, nothing counters Hank. Nothing counters Hank. You just see the amount of damage he just did to me in that 8-bit turret. He just one-shot me. It's just disgraceful at the moment. To be honest, if I were you guys, I really wouldn't even bother playing ladder unless you had a Hank on your team. It's seriously that OP. We should be able to hopefully get close to the stew. No, we can't really do that right now. But with only 15 seconds left, it's not looking very likely that we'll win this game. I'm just going to push up and hope for the best. But you know, with an 8-bit turret and his Hank behind a wall, he's just gonna obliterate us. Yeah, so for me, Maisie is pretty underrated, mainly because she counters the best brawler in the game. One of the best counters easily. Let's hop into the next one. Guys, so jumping into the final underrated brawler within this meta, it is Jessie. So Jessie is always a brawler which is pretty underpowered in the game right now. And one thing is that she's actually been used quite, well, not, I won't really say often, but in a few maps she really has that niche place in the meta right now. I've seen a lot of pros use her. So of course we're facing bit cheesy Hank 8-bit strategy, but I can't complain. I'm one of the ones that kind of highlighted it. But yeah, it's just ladder in a nutshell at the moment. But yeah, really loving a Jessie. It's a kind of soft counter to Hank, of course. Any kind of tank, Jessie can feed turret off easily, and Hank can't really deal enough damage a lot of the times to destroy the turret within one shot. So that's just one positive as well. We've got the slow on the Hank as well. That's really going to help us out. I'm just going to throw another turret on there. I know he's going to deal a lot of damage to that pretty quickly, but just look at the amount of time he's spending wasting it shooting that turret. But the main reason I wanted to point out on the Jessie is because there's a few maps in the game where she just really thrives on. One of them being Gem Fort. I know, you know, she's always been pretty decent on Gem Fort, but I've seen it in competitive a few times. I always thought it's pretty risky, but it seems to work out pretty much every single time. Having a Jessie turret behind an unbreakable wall is just such a scary prospect. People have been, you know, secretly popping off with it, and for me, I think she's pretty good on those maps. There's also parallel plays. I know it seems crazy that parallel plays, you know, Jessie's always been meta there, but only recently have people been trying the Jessie there again, and it's really been working out. There's also a few other ones that you might be surprised about. Crystal Arcade, for example, she's been popping off as a mid on that map, which is actually pretty insane. So Gem Grab, really strong. Hot Potato as well, pretty decent. She's of course got that niche in a hot zone as well, and you know, trust me, I think she's starting to become a lot more better. Of course, if Hank is nerfed, I think she'll then decrease again in viability, but for now she's actually a secretly underrated brawler. Let's hop into the overpowered now. All right guys, so jumping into the first overrated brawler within the meta right now, I've gone with Meg. So I know I literally put Meg in my top 10 video yesterday, but after playing a lot of Meg and also just a few thoughts from the pros, I think Meg's viability is definitely decreased a lot. You know, now you can't just run in a straight line and press gadget and just tank everything. Now you have to be a bit more sophisticated with the way you're playing Meg, and I just think her viability has decreased a lot. But some people still just first pick Meg a lot, and I've also seen this frustration a few times from people on Twitter as well. I think OG was complaining about people just first picking Meg still. She's not really a first pick brawler because there's, you know, a lot of counters to her right now just because you can just run all over her. So yeah, bow mines of course countering us, and time again I talk about people should be able to safely trip over bow mines, and there's us just walking straight into them. Absolutely love to see it. So yeah, she's still like an alright brawler. I can see her viability decreasing a little bit. I'd still consider it like an A tier brawler for now. But I think as time goes on, the meta does shift a little bit, and people start to realize that you can actually, you know, counter Meg. For example, I was playing, I think it was Ring of Fire yesterday, and Meg was just getting shredded all of the time, and that's normally her go-to map. Even when she wasn't meta before, you could always go Meg on Ring of Fire. So maybe in the future, Meg just isn't as meta as we really think. But that's going to be the first overrated brawler in my opinion. Let's hop into the next one. Guys, so jumping into the next overrated brawler within the meta right now, I've gone with Surge. So I think the power shield gadget nerf definitely did hurt him a lot, but I think more so in the overrated sense that within Power League, especially when I'm playing on my lower account, people just pick Surge stupidly. Like, I'm talking, they just pick him as like a first pick on Knockout, for example. I'm literally not even that low on some accounts, but you know, literally it's just stupid. Even on like Mythic, I'm seeing people just stupidly pick a Surge, and I just don't think he's kind of that brawler anymore. He definitely had his meta a few metas ago, but you know, after a nerf and just overall a lot of the other brawlers that counter him getting a lot stronger, I just don't think he's the same brawler anymore. So hopefully we can push up onto this Hank, but it's not looking very likely right now after this disgusting strategy. I wonder who told everyone to go this strategy. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm an idiot for revealing that. I mean, a lot of people already kind of knew, but it's just disgustingly OP. There's nothing that you can really do against it. So hopefully we can get this Shelly down. I'm just going to use my last upgrade to try and make something happen, but it's not really looking very likely right now, is it? These guys just got a disgusting spawn trap on with this 8-bit turret, and maybe we're able to auto-aim these guys down in time, but we're not really able to do so. But anyways, Surge, I think, is pretty, I won't really say bad. He's just not in the best of spots right now, but that's going to be the second overrated brawler. Let's hop into the final one. All right, guys, so jumping into the final overrated brawler in the game right now, we have Janet. So Janet, you know, maybe I'll cut some guys some slack. You know, she's just only received a nerf, but I think people are still picking Janet quite a lot, and me personally, I just don't think she's that brawler anymore. So there's been a few examples even today in EMEA where people have gone like Janet mid. She's kind of converted to a mid on this map, by the way, but I'd still think, you know, yes, she's decent in some scenarios, but there's been a couple of scenarios which I've seen where literally the nerf to also her supercharge has really hurt her. Like literally within like a couple of shots, well, with just one less shot, she could have got away from a certain scenario. I think that in the future, I think she's gonna be a lot more of a softer brawler. And even like non-aggro brawlers, all you got to do to a Janet, right, is get up close and personal. But in the past, she could just charge her super so frequently, but every single time it felt like you eventually got close to a Janet, she would just be able to super away. But right now, it feels like she's in that kind of spot where she can't just stupidly fly away every single time. So yeah, we've got a Crow jumping in here. We should be able to take him down. This Tara is pretty weak as well, but these guys are just crazily running up every single time. Might be able to get this Tara down, maybe here. Let's see. Okay, we can't really get out of the spawn in that situation. Maybe with that Tara pool we can grab a few. I was hoping that was a heal pet, but maybe it can tank a few shots from this Crow. We can take the Crow down. We really need our Fang to help us if we die here. Okay, nice. We just survived that Tara pull as well. We need to heal up though. There's a lot of action going on over here. Crow is so weak. This Tara pet is getting so much value behind here. Eventually we're going to be able to take it down. I think that pet might be able to get that Tara in a 1v1. No, okay. Looks like Tara's able to win that one. But yeah, I mean, Giant is a good option here. I think this is probably the only map where she's solid in. I think everywhere else I've tried her on or faced against her, I just think she's pretty much an easy target right now. So yeah, the balance changes did pretty much kill Janet in my opinion. So that's going to be it for today's video. I'm absolutely sweating in my room right now. Yeah, it's like the hottest day in UK this year so far. But anyways, let me know what you think of my underrated and overrated list. That's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.